for joining us today. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to take a tour of AskRegi.ai. AskRegi.ai is currently in beta testing, and hopefully by the summer of 2024, we will be able to do a full release of the first version of AskRegi. So if you're thinking, what is AskRegi? AskRegi is an AI as a service tool that allows any user to rapidly get to state and federal regulations that govern childcare all throughout the nation. This includes in-home childcare, group setting childcare, for-profit, nonprofit, all the different facilities that childcares that must be licensed throughout the 50 states. Some states have only one document that is pointed to for their regulations. Other states will have a document plus memos, addendums, and different elements as they either do updates or for specific regions within their state. Today, we're going to go through AskRegi, and at its current status, it is looking at the main state regs for all 50 states, as well as CACFP federal regs. That's a child adult food care program. Federal regulations is also part of AskRegi. In the near future, AskRegi also is going to be able to be applied to content within your schools to allow you to rapidly access processes, procedures, training, contractual governance, these different elements of your business, and rapidly access it at one point of service. So let's dive in though to AskRegi right now. To get into AskRegi, every individual will have a separate email address as well as a password. Of course, this will be your own email address. You can see some information about the beta testing here. And we also do have an email address down here that you can quickly contact us to give us any more thoughtful updates, inquiries about the technology, or ideas or thoughts about where we're going. We would love any additional feedback. So to sign in, you click sign in. And by the way, we are at AskRegi.ai is the website. Once upon you getting to this interface, you'll see a few different things. On the far right side, you will see you have a profile here. In here, you can update your profile or you can sign out, and I'm currently signed in. On the far left-hand side, underneath the AskRegi.ai logo, you'll see the Q&A, and that's the section we are in right now. Then there's also a history section where you can see the history of any of the questions you have asked from the past 10 questions. And then once they go past 10, they get archived, and then you have the opportunity to sign out again. But here's the basic bones of it. You'll see that you have your documents based on the state you have. And if you look at this, it has all the different states within the country as well as CACFP regulations. But you'll notice too that we do have one state that's checked, for instance, for myself, and that is because of my childcare schools, which are located in New York. It is set as a default because when I set up my profile, it requests what state would you like as your default state. This does not matter as to what your default state is because you can also go in and choose any other state as you wish to ask any kind of questions. Down here, you then have the opportunity to ask any questions, and it's based on the state, and you would ask your questions here. Now, like using a tool like ChatGPT, you were just to ask a typical question. And this question is something that you are seeking an answer to based on the state regs. Now, this cannot currently answer questions that are outside of your state regs because the difference in the uniqueness of AskRegi is it is asking directly and looking across your state requirement documents for licensing. It is not going outside into the internet. It is not looking at sites like NACE or blogs or anybody who has an opinion or a post like a ChatGPT would or other AI tools out there. So the uniqueness of this is that it's focused directly on these documents. So let's ask a question. For instance, we're going to ask, I have a toddler room that has 750 square feet of space and 200 square feet of immovable objects? How many toddlers may I have in this room? Okay, so when I go ahead, I'll seek to get an answer. Now, what is actually happening is our system is AI agnostic to what are called large language models. Okay, the large language model is something that allows you to do the heavy duty processing of questions. Now, we did get an answer back, and candidly, the answer is not specific enough for what I was seeking. It says the maximum number of toddlers may be accommodated in this room is calculated by subtracting the square footage. I actually want to know what that is. So what I'm going to do is it has a related question in here is what is the maximum number of toddlers allowed? So I'm now going to copy this here and I must give feedback too at this point in time. So I'm going to say that this answer was not detailed enough. Okay, so it was partially correct, but it's not detailed enough. This allows me now to ask another question. Okay, now that we asked the question again, what we have is the answer in greater detail because the way we ask the question sometimes changes what the answer is. Here you will see that this gets more direct to the answer. The 750 square feet minus the 200 square feet gives you the 550 square feet. That divided by 35 square foot per children equals 15.71. Since you cannot have a fraction of a child, the maximum number of toddlers allowed in the room would be 15. Now, this is great. This is a really quick answer to something that could have taken you about 45 minutes to go look up and try to identify in multiple sections of your regulations. You'll also notice this section down here. What this is this points to key parts of the requirements document, your licensing document that you now can go to reference this to make sure you are getting as accurate of an answer as possible, bringing you right to where the possible solutions are. Now, how AI is different than Google. If you were to have a Google or what they call a Boolean search, this would go into the document and just look at relevancy and then give you a bunch of answers based on what it sees. And you get a whole list of answers like you do when you do a search on Google, but it's not giving you what we would say is an accurate answer according to what it is. You'll see down here that we have an accuracy bar. What this accuracy bar is to say is the question that was asked, the way that it was asked is giving about a 95% accuracy based on the AI's looking at the document. This doesn't mean that it's going to be a purely accurate answer, but it's basically saying by the way the question was asked, the answers come back with a 95% level of accuracy. So if we go again and we take a look at the regulations, we go here and you see that you are right in the state regulations. You're on page 8 and page 9. It says the square footage here. It also talks about the toddlers area to accommodate them. So it brings you right here, but it is not going to always have the entire answer sitting in a paragraph because oftentimes it can be in different areas of the paragraph. So you would see sometimes multiple pages here, depending if there was key elements in different areas. Now, we request that anybody who's in a beta test to provide us feedback. We've done this so much to the point that you cannot actually ask another question until you give feedback. Now, if I click the thumbs up, that's basically saying this is a great answer. And honestly, this answer was perfect. It worked out great. If you click a thumbs down, you then have the opportunity to say the answer is not accurate like I previously did, partially correct, not enough detail, or the reference was not accurate. But today we're not going for that. We are going to give it a thumbs up. And after we do that, you will notice that it allows us to get another answer. One of the cool things about Ask Reggie too is you can add on to a question like this. For instance, please answer in Spanish. Okay. So now, when it is doing the request, not only is it processing through a large language model, but it is now giving you the answer back in the language you chose, supporting over 200 languages, including elements like Mandarin or Cantonese or Russian or German. It will really look across the spectrum according to what in particular you're looking for. In addition to that, you'll see that we have the history section here, and this allows you to see what are the different kind of questions that you have asked overall. This allows you to come here and ask any different questions from any different state. So that in a nutshell is Ask Reggie. It's simple, it's easy to access, it's highly available, and it's for you to take advantage of, especially in the beta testing mode. And we'd like to have more of you on board for that beta testing because every time you ask different questions, the system starts to learn more and more. So I'd like to thank you for coming today and learning about Ask Reggie. If you have any other questions for us, again, do not hesitate to reach out to us. And again, you can reach out to us at the contact information here at AskReggie at InspireCare360.com. Thank you very much.